Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon, and today we're going to be working on some games, otherwise known as Feast of Legends, the Clapback Edition. We are listening to relaxing jazz, instrumental music for study, work, and relax. Cafe music, background music, by Cafe Music, BGM channel. Just to give you the lowdown on it. So, let's take a look. So, yesterday, we went through the madness of trying to make a cooking system from scratch. And it's a thing, definitely. It's definitely a thing. We are definitely doing a thing. This is the madness that we had. And we're going to try to turn it into something actually usable today. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to make a nice little note right here. And overall, we have to worry about... Let's break it down. What do we need? 1, we need what ingredients are. What ingredients do. How to make meals with ingredients. So that's our basic. This is the basic. Everything else is going to be based around this. At its fundamental core, this is what we're working with. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. That is the base of what we're dealing with. How we're going to be working with it, and why we're going to be working with it. So, looking here, I should actually, get things like, oh god, I clicked the wrong button. Get things like chat set up, so I can actually, see it, because I'm blind. Let's pop that out. All right. So, looking here, let's start. So, what ingredients are? So, we got what ingredients are. What ingredients do. How to make a meal with ingredients. And from there, we can add things like cooking supplies. Probably go into the equipment section. Cooking locations. I'll go in the cooking section properly. Cooking skills. I might actually make that a completely independent thing. You have your base skills, and then you actually have your cooking skills. So you may be saying, well, I'm skilled at making meat, but they're skilled at making soups. So as of right now, I'm going to put 2 little question marks right there because we don't know how that's going to work. And they'll probably go into types of meals as well. So we're going to do that roughly. So this is what we have to do right here. Okay, so let's start off with what ingredients are. So let's just type the big question: what are ingredients? So ingredients are here. I'm gonna actually put this down here for reference. Let's say ingredients are resources that the characters can find, scavenge, purchase, or acquire that make up a part of a meal. Make up, oh, okay, acquire the make up part of a meal. Okay. Each ingredient has a series of attribute bonuses and penalties depending on the type of ingredient as well as its quality. So our rough, we said we wanted like 5 steps of ingredient ranks. Alright, so let's do a little side note right here. Ingredient ranks: poor, average, good, excellent, perfect. And then we want types of ingredients. What kind of types of ingredients? Types of ingredients. So we're going to actually go all the way up here. Protein, carbs, vegetable, spices. So proteins, carbs, vegetables, and spices. Put spices and special. The carbs, vegetables, spices, special. So proteins primarily give strength is their primary. So let's see. So strength. Their problem is dex. STR minus DX. Carbs. red potatoes. Okay, so let's say carbs give you strength minus dex. Intelligence minus, let's say, plus dex. What penalty would vegetables give you? What did I actually decide on that? Let's see. Holistic snacking. We'll set strength plus dex minus int plus r plus any plus minus any. So which ones am I not accounting for? What attributes am I not accounting for? Because I know I'm not accounting for an attribute. Strength, intelligence, charm, arcana, grace. GRC. Charm. Charm is one. I don't really know what else to put down for carbs, really. Do I really want to do this? Half of me says I don't want to do this. The other half of me says I do. I can see it. That's the worst part, is I can see it in my head. Making it work is completely different, however. Let me think. What am I thinking of? I know. Now you may be wondering, but Notepad, Anon, shouldn't you have prepared this beforehand? Oh no, I don't prepare anything beforehand. So let's say... Food groups. Give us the food group. Give us all of the food groups. Where's the food pyramid? In case you're wondering, I have water here. Delicious water. Keep hydrated, folks. It's good for you. As I slowly lose my goddamn mind with this. So effectively... So let's break it down some more. So we want breads. God, what do you even call that bottom group? Grains, fruits, vegetables, meat. Yeah, it's going to be called meat now. Meat, dairy, fats. Squeaky chair, squeaky chair, squeaky, squeaky, squeaky chair. Let's go with fats, actually, not sweets. So fats. What does grain give you? Grain is emphasized on say grain is emphasized on strength. Fruit's going to be emphasized on charm. Vegetable is going to be put on intellect. That one's meat's also going to be strength. A lot of strength. Say grace, and then we'll just do arcane for fats. It'll be fatty. Let's see. I know I'm missing one again. Arcana, charm, intelligence, grace. Arcana, grace, intelligence, charm, strength. No, we got them all. Awesome. Strength has a little bit of representation, but what I'm going to do to balance that out a little bit is grains give that minus dex, fruits give that minus strength, vegetables give that minus strength. Minus int. Minus arc, and then slash minus charm. These are going to be our rough ones. These are just our rough ideas right now. So, poor, we said that your net's going to be -1. Average, your net's 0. Good, your net's 1. Excellent, your net is going to be +2. Perfect means you're going to have a net of 3. So, poor grains would look something like this. Well, perfect grains would look something like +4 strength, -1 grace. Oh, God. That's my back. Oof. You don't know, I'm actually a boomer, and my back is thrown out completely, and I don't like it. It hurts. But let's keep taking a look here. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, just like clicking over here, I am checking Discord, because I am in fact a Discord, faggot. Let's see. Let's see. Poor grains, perfect grains. So, types of emphasis. Emphases? Let me just plural of. . emphases. Yeah, emphases. Sum total attributes. So, let's say, for example, because we like examples and examples are good, we hunt down a deer. We kill the deer and we are going to eat the deer because deer. So let's say that it's a pretty, it's a pretty average deer. So we're going to say it's going to be average meat. Our emphasis is on strength, and it has to be, at the end of the day, 0. Let's say we got a pretty decent chunk of meat. We're going to do +2 strength, -2 int. Technically, it'd be average venison. However, let's say we get a real good cut of meat. It's real cool. We really like it. It's going to be perfect venison. Now we're going to do +5 strength, -2 int. We're still taking that penalty to int, but we have a way bigger strength penalty. But let's say we get a sick deer. Poor venison. -1 +1 strength, -2 int. We're taking, overall, we're not getting as much, but again, we got to work up to it. We got 4 ranks of this. Okay. No, NVIDIA, I don't want to update my drivers now. Can you please bother me that in like 20 minutes? Let's see, what am I looking at? What am I looking at here? We want to go... Okay, so we know what are ingredients. This is ingredients. This is what we're going to have to write for the ingredients section right here. It's going to look beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. What ingredients do? What do ingredients do? Ingredients can be used to cook and manufacture meals for the group during downtime or when they require to rest, or when they need to rest. Two or more ingredients can be combined into a meal, taking the sum total of their attributes, attribute bonuses, and penalties together. So overall, let's say again we have our average vegetables, an average meat. Let's say it's +2 strength, -2 int, and we'll use average fats. +2 arc, -2 charm. We add these together. Total meal, hello phone, +2 arc, +2 strength, -2 charm, -2 intelligence. are we? Okay, this is what the ingredients do. How do I make a meal? You can make a meal by passing a cooking check of target number 10. This check combines 2 ingredients together I should actually put 2 unique ingredients together to form a new meal. Let me say it can be used to manufacture a meal. 2 or more unique ingredients can be combined into a meal. Now, you may be wondering, why am I putting unique there? I'm putting unique there for one reason. Well, GM, I have 55 things of meat we've gathered. We're going to make meals for the rest of our life of just being meat. No, you can't do that. You have to have vegetables and meat. You have to have grains and meat. You have to have X and Y, X and Y. You always need something else to make it work. To form a new meal. Really check off target number 10. This combines to form a new meal. Character can choose to add additional ingredients. Increase the difficulty by +5. Now, I'm going to put this down here so I don't forget. Additional ingredients increase the difficulty by +5. They may also choose to cook off negative parts of the meal with an additional +5 to the target number. And we cook off negative parts of the meal, or enhance the flavor of a positive part, an additional +5 to the target number. Characters require 1 ingredient for each party member, each ally eating. Footnote: a party of 4 would require 4 pieces of meat, 4 pieces of fat to make the above meal. A character can choose to stretch resources to reduce the required resources by 1. Or 1 ingredient for a plus 5 to the target number. All right. All right, so we've gotten this far. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. How do I make a meal? You do that. So I actually don't really need this. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what I have here. We're going to do around the campfire. A meal's buff lasts until the next time the characters snack or have a meal, or until the character is knocked unconscious. What effectively this rule is, you can your meals aren't going to be perfect, so you can't always go into every single fight with completely buffed up meals. No, you want to save those special ingredients. You want to save those special things for moments when you think you're going to need it. If you think you're going to go on like an 8-hour trek to the middle of nowhere, you obviously don't really want to eat all your food, have the greatest meal of all time if you're not going to run into anything. Alternatively, if you're going into a dungeon, you don't want to eat garbage. You want to actually have some good food going in there, so you can, you get a bunch of buffs, so you are doing really good and you're kicking butt and taking names. That's what you want to do. Now, looking here, so meal buffs last until the next time until the character is knocked unconscious. What that is effectively, hey, I've been knocked unconscious, I am out of commission, I get back up, and I no longer have my bonuses. I no longer have the +5 strength from this last meal, but I no longer have the -2 intelligence as well. So it's kind of the take it as you will. Do you want to afford to do something like that? Or do you want to not? So it's kind of a take it as you will moment. Snack or a meal, and rations are just 0 across the board. You don't get anything for eating rations, but rations are also just easy and simple. So we want to actually finger looking good. This is really overly complex for something like this, but I also kind of like it. I made a mistake. We want to hit Control V. What are ingredients? What are ingredients? Let's see, this is heading 2, so we want to make this heading 3. Ingredients. Ingredient is depending on the type of the ingredient as well as its quality. Backspace, 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 backspace. Backspace, 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 backspace. Make that into a nice little table. Some total of attribute bonuses. Emphases. Attribute emphases. do ingredients do? D-ents. I keep putting A there. Ingredients. I'm actually going to do an example throughout. If I want to get, I'm going to put everything. Let's see, did everything get put in? Yeah, everything got, how do I make a meal? Yeah. Everything got put in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything from here. And we're going to use an example. We're going to do an example. Actually, we'll make this a side note effectively. So, in example, Spec brought and co have a meal. Spec brought and his two friends sit down to have a nice meal. They have recently purchased good quality dairy plus 2 grace. No, actually, yeah. It's going to be plus 3 grace minus 1 arcane, and have hunted for average quality meat, plus 2 strength, minus 2 intelligence. They want to make a solid meal before they continue their journey. Table, boom, boom. An example, Spec Brought and Company have a meal. Put 1 right next to here, just so kind of part of a series. I'm going to put a picture right here, probably. So what do ingredients do? Ingredients can be used to cook and manufacture meals for the group during downtime or when they need to rest. 2 or more unique ingredients can be combined together into a meal, taking the sum total of their attribute bonuses and penalties together. So actually, I'm going to do good dairy. I just want to keep the plus 3 grace, -1 arcane, -1 arcane, plus 2 strength, -2 intelligence, plus 3 grace, plus 2 strength, -1 -2 intelligence, and -1 arcane. What do ingredients do? So, an example, Spec Brought and Co. have a meal. 2. companions. Get out the materials. To have their fine meal. The final goal of them is to create a nice and palatable meat and dairy foods, meals. No meat or dairy. No meat or dairy. Let's go to BBC Good Food. What can we find with this? So, let's see. With dairy products, let's see, actually. So we want dairy products. Give me cheese, eggs, egg, and meat. Oh, wait, I know. So it's eggs. Haha, they're making omelets. Not create a nice and palatable omelet. Meaty omelet. Fill the three heroes up nicely for the rest of their journey. Good dairy. Average meat for the total meal. So, omelette meal total. 3 grace, 2 string, -2 intelligence, -1 arcane. I had an omelet this morning, actually, and I didn't feel faster, I can tell you that much, but good, heavy. It had sausage and stuff to it. Pretty good stuff. I mean, my omelets roughly can go into the, rough, I tried at least. So, let's see. SPRUG and Co. have a meal. We want to do that. Now, you may be saying, well, this is kind of a little... you're treating the players kind of like idiots with this, meaning it's like, and you gotta walk you through. But it's one of those things where it's good to treat people reading the rule book maybe not as absolute geniuses right off the bat. Because again, you don't know who's going to be reading it. You don't know if it's going to be the man who knows everything about your game, or it's going to be the person with absolutely no knowledge of how to roll dice. You don't know. So, and everyone learns differently as well. Some people can read that first line and say, okay, ingredient 1, ingredient 2, you can make a meal out of it, tell me the target number. Some people are going to get that right away. Other people won't. And they're going to be like, well, I just have these 2 things together. Do they go together? Or does one take over the other? No, they go together. So that's my reasoning to kind of giving you, like, here's this entire example of going through. I don't do this very often, but having this kind of summation of, like, this is what this means, this is what this means, this is what this means, is, I think, going to be good for this section, because it's going to be pretty deep, unfortunately. Like, this is actually going to be a fairly in-depth system with a lot of little things going through it. So let's see. Cook off negative parts of the meal and enhance the flavor of the... Require 1 ingredient for each ally in eating. Actually, I'm going to do the party requires 1 ingredient for each ally eating. Footnote. So we're going to do, actually what I'm going to do here is going to put tab, because again, you cannot tab tables. If you tab tables, let's try to make a new row for it. So I'm going to put tab right here. SpecBot. SpecBot reveals from pack a special ingredient. Rare herbs. The previous adventure. Eating herbs allow the characters to gain a small bit of vitality before breaking camp fully. This is going to lead Mystic Herbs +5 temporary HP at the end of a meal. What I'm also going to do is going to put right here some ingredients can be special. Or actually, not all. I'm going to make that as a side note. Some ingredients can be special or unique if added to a meal. Treated as normal, except instead of an attribute, bonus, and penalty, they simply give the indicated boon to the characters that eat the meal. How to make a meal. How to make a meal. You make a meal by let's see. Characters can make a meal by passing a cooking check at target number 10. Target number 10, and combining 2 unique ingredients together. Choose the additional ingredients to add a footnote. This is why I also write footnotes in, so I don't have to use this kind of janky way of doing it. I can just Control-C, Control-V. It's very nice, very simple, and saves time. So not barbarians, and afterwards, I didn't mean to click on this. Why did you click on that? Oh god, everything's falling apart. No. Hello, Niche Punk 01. My name is Notepad Anon, and I write games for fun. I'm currently trying to fix a game that Wendy's made called Feast of Legends, and trying to make a cooking system in a tabletop RPG. I'm losing my mind, and you can experience it with me. Say hello in the chat to make sure I know you're not a horrifying Russian bot and Twitch is going to devour me whole. In case you want to know why I was screeching slightly, I clicked the wrong button and Steam opened up, and Steam wants to update everything now, and I feel sad. So, where we are right now, actually, is I'm making a full cooking system, as I said, and I've written a lot of stuff, and we're just trying to make sure everything is working as intended, which, a lot easier said than done. Let's say that. So, let's see, do that. So we're going to go here to sheet 5. A lot of the last stream, yesterday's stream, I worked on weapons mostly. So as you can see, I added quite a few new weapons to this game. It's a D20 game, in case you're curious. You guess he's not. Say la vie. I'm not terribly interesting. So let's see, we want to... So we want to do target number, name, effect. No, we want to do name, target number, effect. We want to do that. So we want to make everything Arial 12 and bold. I've made a mistake. Like my life. Oh my god, what am I doing with my life? We want to do Arial, we want to do 12, we want to put everything in the middle, we want to do that, and we want to do that. Alright. I can fix that in a minute. So, obviously this isn't what we're doing, and we're going to be doing base, preparing a meal. Target number 10, effect, combine 2 ingredients together to make a meal. Open this up, and by open this up I mean open this document up, Control C, put you right there. And this up, we're going to be, let's see, choose additional ingredient, cook, add a ingredient, target number +5. Oh god, it's going to do this to me, isn't it? +5. What I'm going to have to do is this, because it's a... Good old Excel wants to, when you type in +5, it's going to do an addition of equal +5, which I don't want, so I'm just going to have to do that as of right now. Add another ingredient to the meal with its bonuses and penalties. Cook off. 5. Remove an attribute penalty from the meal. Enhance flavor, 5. Add a +1 to attribute bonus from the meal. Stretch resources, 5. Reduce the required number of one of the ingredients by 1. Is there anything I'm missing? No, I don't believe there's anything I'm missing. So, to Control C, Control V, paste unlinked. What the paste linked versus unlinked means is whether or not if I were to make a change to this and it was linked, it would change here. I would recommend you don't do that in case you end up in a situation like what I'm doing right here. And that's not a thing, really. Oof. Okay. Dimensions. I'm going to have to edit that, but let's stretch you out a little bit. We want pair the meal and effects. We're going to make effect extra wide. Shrink the target number down. Can we make this just a little thinner? Aha, perfect. What I can do there is I can reduce this down to right there. Target number +5, +5, +5, +5. So with that, what we want to do now welcome to the wonderful world of amateur game design, where you stare at yourself trying to figure out what button to press because you completely forgot because you're a moron. That one? No. Where is the table button? Watercolor, that's what I'm looking for. Dunk. Alright, cool. Alright, folks, give me 1 minute. I have a call. I'll be back in a second. Hi, I'm not dead. I swear. I just get on really long phone calls anytime I stream, because that's my life here. That's just how we operate, for better or for worse. So let's get back to what we were doing. So let's see how to make a meal. Make a meal, cooking target number 10, cook off. It's kind of redundant to do this, but I feel it's necessary. Just kind of, here's a shorthand, like here's kind of a more in-depth method of doing it. I feel like I should add more. Let's see. Go like kitchen or other prepared meal area. Poor cooking conditions. +5. So, one thing I was thinking about, because, okay, actually, let's take this out, because we've already put this in. We've put these two in. So, cooking skills. Now, cooking skills. What do you base it off of? Do you just make a raw roll? Or do you make it something a little bit more in depth? Okay, so I'm standing now, just to make sure you know I'm serious. On one hand, you make it more in depth. Let's say each of the main classes. Just let's use classes. Each of the main classes has a rough cooking skill. Or maybe everyone has a cooking skill related to their level. Cooking skill related to their level in a class. So you might have +3 one plus encourage you to focus, go down one route. So effectively, higher level you get. Higher level means higher cooking skill. With certain characters having the ability, certain classes giving bonuses to cooking in general, including being able to reduce ingredients by 1, but effectively having you able to use the stretch ingredients or one of the other special things right off the bat, so you don't have to worry about that. So let's see if that's the case. How do we do that? based entirely off level. So level 1, everyone starts with 0? No, that doesn't sound right. Level 1, everyone starts with 1, equal to your level in highest level in a class. So multi-classers get more abilities, but they have a lesser cooking score. So you're more encouraged to go down certain classes to get better cooking skills rather than multitasking. But why would you have multiple? Why would you have multiple? Because you would have multiple, but overall you're just probably going to have a single person actually do the cooking. And that single person is going to be min-maxed all to hell to do it. So if everyone has the advantage, why the hell would anyone want to do that? So alternatively, there's base it off intelligence. That means side orders are going to be more likely to invoke the at least casters are going to be the one that actually be able to do that. But if you have basic casting abilities, but everyone is incentivized to have intelligence, because intelligence is also useful, because there's no such thing as a dump stat. And because if there's no such thing as a dump stat, that means you should be okay to do that. Or not. Thinky. Now, during this point, I would like to talk to someone about this. I would like to have a verbal conversation with them and go back and forth with them. But since I'm talking to myself right now, I'm the only one that can really do that. So I have to kind of go back and forth with myself like a goddamn delusional madman. But, okay, let's take a step back. One, who do we want to cook the meals? Overall, we want everyone to be able to cook the meals. Since everyone's cooking the meals, should we be able to add everyone's attributes together? No, that's ridiculous. Because if you add everyone's attribute, by default, you'd have like a +3, and then immediately you just make things super easy. Like every level you double it, so it'd be 3, 6. Yeah, you'd effectively 3, 6. If you had a party of 3, it would be 3, 6, 9, 12, and then immediately, like, you just make anything for free. This isn't even dealing with someone who gets bonuses to something. Then you just stack everything on one person. So you'd want to make dedicated cooks, but if you make a dedicated cook, that means they're just going to stack all the abilities. So let's roll back a little bit. Let's think about it a little bit more. Okay. Let's make cooking squeaky's chair. Let's see. Oh, God. Where am I looking? I know what I'm looking for. Intelligence, charm. Con of grace. I'm just going to tie it to intelligence. That's the easiest one. The smarter you are, smarter are the means, the better ones, but certain classes are going to be able, certain orders, I should say, are going to be able to get bonuses to it. So cooking check at target number 10. Using their intelligence score. Semicolon. Combine 2 unique ingredients together. So that effectively cancels that out. Unless I want to... Do I make a note on... Do I make a note on skills about that? Point by skills. Maybe a bad idea to put this, but what that effectively means is that if you really want to, you can adopt more specific skills. So what you can do is you can say, I have the cooking skill, but I also have the grilling skill. So anytime I'm actually, grilling something, I get a +4. So you'd want to grill stuff more often, but obviously you can't grill milk. Actually, before I eat my metaphorical boots here, grill milk. Tell me this isn't a thing. No, okay, it's not a thing. I'm literally not insane. I was waiting for it. I mean, it's like, sorry, you don't know about the Texan delicacy of grilled milk. So, let's see, we have spec brat makes a meal. Let's do the last spec brat. An example. Spec brat. Company makes a meal. Shields, adventure equipment. Just going to delete that image for now. Utensil. Utensils and pans. Expire. Chef. Can buy. They add +2 to all cooking rolls. Advanced. Finer tools. Better equipment. And an even nicer assortment of pots and pans to make truly marvelous meals. Add +4 to all cooking rolls. I should change that to its ASCII of a check. Checks. Add +6 to all cooking checks. So let's see, we have cooking supplies. Already got the location set up. Two, 4, 6. So let's see. Let's see, actually, what is Spec-Brot's intelligence? Spec-Brot's intelligence is 8. He is a -1 to this. So, actually, let's see. SPRUG isn't really good at this. Professional cooking, +6 to his cooking chat with his -1 to intelligence. He must roll a 15 or higher to succeed. Hopefully, those tools will eating well. Eating well or eating very poorly. Let's see if we can't fit the table right in here. This would be the best thing if I could get the table right here. Will I be able to fit that in if I delete? No. Okay, so I'm going to have to do that. Example, SPRUG and Co have a meal. Eating our boots. Straight and loose. Eating less than optimally. These meals are poorly thought out and worse. Taste like garbage, but they fill stomachs. These hunger pangs for now. He's in the cooking check. Not issue and can. Fails at the cooking edge yet. Meal is ruined. The meal is less than perfect. What's less than perfect? The character can choose to try again, or they can choose to try again with a new set of ingredients. Or they can eat the meal, but they burn off a positive attribute. They either cook off a positive attribute, or they destroy unique ingredients. Bonus. Yeah. Unfortunately fails by rolling a 14. He chooses to keep the meal, but burns away his herbs in the process. The party still enjoys their no less healthy omelets in peace. With the buffs and penalties associated with it. So pretty much what this is giving the I don't have enough food to actually make this work. We don't have enough ingredients to actually, do and redo the meal entirely like the way we want it. So we can either burn off a positive attribute, or we can, burn off one of our, kind of more special things. Like in this situation with the omelet, if they didn't have the mystic herbs, they could choose to burn off the +3 grace, the +2, or the +2 strength. That's what they can choose and opt to do. So they're not getting the full benefit out of it, of their full meal, because they failed the roll. Because the goal is, this is the hopeful goal, is that you're always pushing to add more things, stretch more resources, or kind of cook in less than optimal situations more and more and more. You want to start cooking these amazing meals that gives you insane buffs more regularly, rather than failing and having your +6 strength modifier bonus get burnt off and you now have +1 arcane, -5 intelligence or something. Like, you don't want that. You don't want to eat that, or you don't want to lose that really cool buff on this recipe, so you kind of want to save it, kind of want to use it, and you don't know when to use it. That's kind of what it's a risk reward. And I think that's, should actually be fairly fun. One of the entire things is like, hey, we want to, there we go. Actually, I'm going to make a side note. So, side note, restaurants, inns, and food stands on their travels. Felt like putting this in just for the sake of having it. One thing to note is that there isn't technically an economy yet in this game, which I might need to add in eventually. Restaurants, inns, and food stands, but the gist is, normally you make your own food. However, you don't have to if you go to like an inn or something. You go to an inn, then like no one's gonna you're not being forced to you can use our cooking establishment, our kitchen to make your own food. No, it's, hey, we can serve you food, or we can give you something. Actually, give me 1 second. I should. Certain locations may offer to cook or ingredients into their own meals. Let the characters bring them. Bring them. There we go. This is just a little side note being that's like, hey, we are good friends with a cook. We want to befriend this cook, and we're good friends with him, and he can cook anything we want of him to actually make for us, so we can actually do that and make it really fun and nice. So let's see, we have how to make a meal, we got ingredients. 2 to 4 hours character. Quickly heating it over the campfire, eating it raw. We're just making a very simple and fast dish. So, effectively, your short rest in D&D terms is a snack. You're burning resources that you may or may not have. A meal, on the other hand, is something a lot more prepared. And you don't want to eat rations constantly, because rations don't give you anything. There's 0 across the board. But what you want to do is you want to cook meals when you decide to have a meal. You don't want to just eat rations. Rations don't get you very far, but meals give you buffs and bonuses and cool things. One of the main incentives for the game master to continue, it's like, hey, you should continue adventuring, or hey, push on, is, hey, you can still cook a good meal. You still have all these ingredients laying around. Why don't you cook something with them, and you can make make a good buff with it, or give you all an advantage. One thing here is you also note that I never put in a place about cooking multiple meals. So technically, if you would like, everyone can get an individual meal. It's just going to be it's going to be as many rolls as it is. Instead of just one roll for 4 meals, it's 1 roll for you, 1 roll for you, 1 roll for you, 1 roll for you. But it's everyone gets their specific buffs they want. So it's kind of determine how you want to do it. Do you want to risk it all for multiple rolls, possibly, or do you want to use everything for one really big, really nice meal that everyone gets the advantage of? Because again, the more ingredients you add, if you have someone being this like, I want you to cook me a massive meal to give me a massive strength buff for this upcoming fight, you fail it, suddenly it's okay, let's remake it, because we have to use more resources on you specifically to make sure that you get your massive strength buff that you want. And now everyone doesn't have access to this perfect meat, or now everyone doesn't have this thing we can use for stretch resources. That's kind of the risk there. But looking here, I have been streaming for about 2 hours and 10 minutes. Half an hour of it was me on the phone, unfortunately. But I think we did a lot today. We got the entirety of cooking done. I think this is going to be a fun, unique thing to really separate this game from others. Here, let's actually see how long. We're going to get a picture there. So, curiosity. This was 910 words, about 4 pages, about 1,000 words of just knowing how to cook and learning what stacks and what doesn't. So, tomorrow, we are going to be cleaning up enemies, actually. That's going to be our goal tomorrow. And we're going to make them a little bit nicer, a little bit easier to work with, get a nice system in place. And then it's going to be about 5 days of me banging my head up against the wall, making classes. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.